Good morning. Welcome to Inner Balance Qigong. We'll come to horse stance. Feet are parallel and knees slightly bent, tailbone slightly tucked, shoulders descending away from the ears. I'll invite you to become present in your body by becoming present to the breath. Observe its rhythm, its texture, how the body's responding to the inflow and the outgo. Sense the connection the body's making with the earth through the soles of the feet. At the same time, begin to lengthen through the crown of the head, lifting the lower ribs away from the pelvis. The arms will come to the outer thighs and palms turn away from the body. With the inhalation, they begin to rise above the head, palms come together. Exhale, slowly lower the hands down to the heart center. Breathing here. Allow the breath to rise from the tailbone up into the chest cavity, opening, expanding the heart center. Next inhalation, the left arm will rise as the right descends, fingertips facing up with both hands. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart center. Inhale, the other arm goes up. Exhale, hands come back to the heart. And we just continue alternating. This will be the last full cycle with this arm movement. And we'll bring the hands back to the heart. Now with the inhale, both arms go up, palms together, and then they separate, and with the exhalation, sink down. Palms come together below the navel, and the fingertips turn up, inhaling. Exhale, they sink down. Sense the chi rising and falling. This time, as the hands rise, we're going to turn the body to the right and arms sink down, and then we turn back facing forward again as the palms come together and rise again. And we'll turn the opposite way. We'll do one more full cycle. Come back. So the hands are at the heart again. And we'll inhale. They rise up, separate. Exhale, direct the energy down through the crown, all the way back down to the lower dantian. Pause here a moment and notice how the body feels. Hands come away from the body and release, resting just in front of the thighs. Now we're going to be raising the arms, and the heels will lift at the same time if that's comfortable for you. You can keep your heels down if that makes more sense for you today. And when the hands go past the body, we're going to lift the toes. So we'll start on the inhale, arms lift with the heels as high as you can comfortably. Exhale, sweep them past your thighs and lift your toes. Keep the knees slightly bent throughout. So imagine that the hands are sweeping away any congestion in the pelvic region, supporting the reproductive organs, any emotional congestion you may be holding there from past trauma. Limiting thoughts or beliefs that keep all that's good away from you. Opening that space, which is the seat of our creative impulse. And we'll explore one more cycle and settle the hands back, directing the energy to the lower dantian. Now we're going to explore a heel drop. So we will be rising to the balls of the feet and then dropping the heels to the floor heavily. So we feel a bit of a shudder move up from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head. And we'll be making a particular, I'll just come closer so you can see. This is called the, well, it's the snake in Tai Chi, it's the duckbill in Qigong. And so we're just bringing the tips of the fingers close together right to the thumb. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what this looks like. We're going to be bringing the hands to the kidney region and then bringing them forward and releasing the hands as the heels drop. So with the inhale, we make the snake or the beak and bring the hands back. And we're holding it up here and the balls of the feet if we can. And then with the exhalation, heels drop and you release your hands forward. And then inhale, make the snake head or the beak, pause, exhale, and drop. So this action helps to move energy from the feet all the way up to the crown of the head, breaking up stagnancy as it moves through. Do 2 more cycles. Slowly release the arms. When you explore this practice further with the video, if you find that you're rolling to the outsides of your feet when you lift the heels, press more firmly through the ball of your foot, and that will help to keep the weight evenly distributed across the ball of the foot and keep you more stable when your heels are elevated. Now we're going to explore the perennial favorite, spinal breathing. This time we're going to be on the exhalation, releasing on sound, and it's just so kind of like a heavy sigh. And we'll be bringing the arms up on the inhalation, so they're at a right angle at the elbow, in through the nose, and then exhaling and rounding. Inhale, open the hands, arch the back here. Exhale. Inhale. We're pumping chi through the body. With this expanding and condensing action. Creating suppleness for the spine. Opening the chest and the heart center. Do 3 more cycles. This time when we fold forward, we're going to pause. So it's sort of 3.5 cycles. And release your arms down below the shoulders. I'm going to turn to face you. Now both hands are going to face the right, and we're going to shift the weight to the right. And then the hands now turn to the left, and we shift the weight to that side. So we're making a figure 8 with the hands as they flow through space. And you can imagine that the hands are sweeping out anything within the lower body. It could be the knees, it could be the ankles, the feet, thighs, hips, pelvis. And you can go as low as you like. You can go down really low and work your way up, or you could just be at the pelvic level. And then gradually let the hands rise to about navel level, sweeping through this region of the body, cleansing out impurities, stagnancies. Now up to the rib level. You can turn your body as far to one side or the other, coming up to chest level. Cleansing the lungs, the heart, and up to maybe the shoulder level. And then head, clearing any fog in the brain or anything that may be congesting your sensory organs, and then up to above the head. So clearing out any stagnancy that may be disrupting the flow of the connection between you and source energy. And then we'll gradually bring the hands down. Back down to the sacral level. And then begin to slow the movement of the hands down, as well as the lower body. And you may notice that your body wants to keep moving. The chi momentum is going, is flowing, and see if you can ride that wave for a little bit. It might be very subtle, just a gentle kind of rocking or swaying or turning of the body. Eventually coming back to stillness. Now we're going to explore a body bounce. And the knees are bending as deeply as feels right in your body. And you can lift the heels and drop them here if that feels good. And maybe the shoulders start to get into the action. Bring the hands a little bit away from the body, little lift under the armpit. And then you can start to turn the body to one side and let the hands start to do this motion of energy coming in and flowing out as you rise and fall. So again, breaking up stagnancy in the sacral region, the abdomen, up into the chest. You can get your head going, be loose like a little bobblehead, and gradually come back to stillness. And again, notice what you notice internally. Now we're going to explore a body shake. And you can practice this seated, particularly the lower body part. It might feel like you have more control over what's happening with your lower body if you're seated. But I'm going to demonstrate standing. If you are going to sit, just come toward the front of your chair so that most of your, so really just your like sit bones are right near the edge of the chair. Most of your thigh is the under lower back thigh is released away from the chair. And we're going to be moving our knees closer together and farther apart. So we get this wiggly jiggly action that we're taking with the lower body. Make sure the breath is supporting the movement. See if you can sense that the muscles are just gliding over the bones. You could even make some sound here. And then pause. Tune into the breath. Consciously slow it down if you noted that it has become more shallow or that the heart rate is elevated. Now we're going to do an arm shake. So an internal and external rotation of the arms, as well as freedom of movement in the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. You can raise your arms higher, push them forward, out to the sides, a bit behind you as far as you can reach. Might be easier if your arms are lower for that one. And then above the head. Slowly lower them down to your arms, still with the pulsing action. Now we're going to still from the shoulder to the elbow. So the lower arm and hands are still moving. Now we'll still from the elbow to the wrist. So the wrists are moving and the fingers. Now just the fingers. And then pause them. You might close your eyes here, direct the focus within. See if you can sense the internal vibration. The life force moving more animatedly now within the body. We'll take a bit of a wider stance now, hands to the top of the pelvis. And we're going to explore, we're imagining that we're drawing a circle on the floor between the feet with the tailbone. So we're going to start by creating a very tiny little circle. So the action in the pelvis might be very subtle. But the intention is to draw the tailbone forward to one side and then back and then to the other side and forward again. So you're making a circle which then becomes larger as you spiral out from the center. So the action then in the pelvis becomes more obvious. Let the breath carry the pelvis through space. And this churning action also helps to break up stagnancy of energy in the region of the pelvis, supporting the reproductive organs, helps to move matter through the colon for more balanced elimination, works wonders for the digestion in all regards. And then see how big a circumference you can create. It's also moving energy through the hip sockets, the knees and ankles as well. Pause wherever you are and then start to reverse the direction. Starting with the large circumference, gradually narrowing it in until you come back to the very subtle action. Observe the breath as you're exploring this tiny circle action. Eventually returning to stillness. Inhale deeply with the exhalation, sweep the hands away from the body. Now, again, we'll be moving in the pelvic region. This time we're creating a figure 8 with the pelvis, and this might require a bit more concentration on your part. And you could just imagine one sit bone, so the base of your pelvis on one side is kind of the leading point that is creating this figure 8 on the floor. You could also imagine that it's your tailbone as well. And keep the knees slightly bent. And I'm going to start with the pelvis shifting to the left first. And then the tailbone is kind of the center point where you cross. If you think of an infinity sign, a lamniscate figure 8 on its side. And this, I know I really have to pay attention here to do this action. And it might feel a little awkward, but if you keep your knees bent, it helps. And you can get your shoulders into the action too. so that the upper body is in sync with the lower body, and that seems to help me create this action. Now we're going to go the opposite way, and this might feel easier or maybe a little more awkward, depending on if you're right or left side dominant. And let's complete a couple more cycles and then gradually bring our awareness to a subtler action until eventually we come to stillness. And if your toes turned out, you might make the feet parallel again. Allow your focus to turn within, observing this region of the body, the sacral region, the back side as well as the front. So we have the dantian here, the lower dantian as well. And we're cultivating qi in that region, as well as I said, breaking up stagnancy that may have accumulated in that area of the body. This is great if you experience fibroids or cysts, anything of that nature in the pelvic region as well. Now we're going to explore what are referred to as danyus, and this does require bending the knees and straightening them. But again, you can just do this very simply to the depth that feels comfortable in your body, and you could simply be seated and just do the arm movements if that makes better sense for you. I'll turn sideways just so you can see how we want to orient the pelvis for this. If I bend the knees and let the pelvis go straight down, my knees are moving forward beyond my feet and out of alignment with my ankles. And that puts more pressure on the knees. So if I'm bending the knees and I sit the buttocks back, then the knees remain more in alignment with the ankles, this as opposed to this. And even if you were just to practice that for a moment, you'd notice, I would think, that this is a lot more strenuous. So we're sitting as though there's a chair a little bit too far behind us that we're trying to sit in. And the arm action, I'll face you for a moment. The fingertips will start to face each other as the hands rise. Palms face the body, hands come up to about head level. Palms turn away, and then we're going to lower the arms so they're parallel to the floor as we sink down. And then the fingertips turn in and up as the hands rise. And then palms turn away and gradually lower the arms to parallel. And I'll turn sideways again so you can see. So we're sitting back in space. So the spine is more at a diagonal rather than vertical. And if you want to go lower, you can spread your feet wider, turn the toes out slightly, and come to a deeper level, if that works for you. Or it could be something just very slight. In terms of the bend of the knee. Bringing yin up from the earth and yang down from the heavens. 2 more cycles. And lower the arms, resting the hands by the thighs. Now we'll explore knocking on the door of life. Again, a wider stance. Here we're going to be turning the body and lifting the heel. This will prevent any excess strain in the knee joints. And then the heel drops, we turn the body, the other heel lifts. And we start the action of the arms, them swinging and making contact with the body. Here at the hip level, and the forearm is crossing right at the level of the lower dantian and sacral region, pelvic region. Then we'll raise the hands to the top of the pelvis. And the head can stay facing forward. Now we're at the navel level, or you can turn your head with the body, whatever feels more in alignment with your needs for today. Now the ribs just below the bust or chest level. Now right through the chest wall, hands come underneath the armpits. And then up to the top of the shoulder. Now we're going to be making an open fist and thump right at the outer point of your collarbone, just underneath the collarbone. We're going to do another set here at this level. Then go out to the arms again. Under the armpit. Upper ribs or mid ribs. Lower ribs and navel level and the level of the Ming Men, the kidneys, and then to the top of the pelvis. And then arms fully extended and wherever the hands make contact. Now let's bring the body back to stillness slowly, gradually. Allow the momentum to keep going. Ride the wave of the chi. Might close your eyes. See if you can just surrender to the flow without consciously attempting to stop the body. You might feel that figure 8 return into the pelvic region, the shoulders. Might be a very smooth, consistent movement, or maybe at some points it might feel faster and then slower. And eventually bring the body back to stillness if it hasn't come to rest on its own yet. Turning the feet parallel again, they were turned out. We're going to direct the chi flow through the body in a vertical cycle, a circular fluid cycle. And if you're wearing glasses, you may want to remove them right now just for this part of the sequence, because we will be bringing the hands up over the face. And if you want, you can just keep your hands a little bit away from your face if that feels better for you. But we're really attempting to kind of massage the body as we go. So you'll figure out what works. On the inhale, the hands will rise up to the top of the head. And exhale, we're sweeping down the back of the head and neck, over the tops of the shoulders to the front, under the armpits to your back, and then sweeping all the way down as far as you can go, maybe just to your knees, and then around to the front of the body, inhaling, sweep up. Over the neck, the face, forehead, up to the top of the head. Exhale down the back. And inhale up the front. Use as much pressure into your body as feels comfortable. So we're drawing yin up from the earth and the yang down from the heavens, circulating the energy through the body. When you're coming up the front side, come a little bit to the inside of your ankle and up the inside of your legs into the inguinal fold, and then up along the body, either side of the spine as the central axis. This time when we come up to the top of the head, we'll pause, elbows forward. We're gripping the head and the thumbs are just above the ears. Inhale deeply, exhale, and squeeze your head firmly. Inhale, draw your head up toward the ceiling. Feel the decompression of your spine, root through the tailbone. Next exhalation, slowly lower the chin toward the chest until you meet resistance. Elbows remain forward. Breathing deeply and rhythmically. Drawing the ears away from the shoulders. Next inhalation, chin rises to neutral. With the exhalation, let the hands cover the face and draw the fingers down over the face, the neck, the chest, ribs, abdomen, to the lower dantian, and then the arms relax where they fall naturally. Observe how the body feels. What's the internal sensation? You can put your glasses back on now if you removed them. For the next part, we will be drawing the hand over the head, but I think it'll be the side of the head. So I think if you're wearing your glasses, you should be okay for that. We're going to be coming into a pivot here on the heel and a bit into a lunge for this next part of the sequence. Now we're moving energy through the body in a primarily horizontal manner. Although we're going to bring it up into the head, neck and head as well. On the inhale, the hands will come up to the heart level, palms together. And then as you pivot, extend the left arm. And then place the ball of your foot down. The right hand is resting on the chest. And as you exhale, sweep across the chest to the inner arm and watch your hand as it flows down palm to palm. Then bring the right hand around the back side of the left hand and up the back side of that arm. Now pivot the heels, or pivot on the heel so your feet are parallel. Come up over the neck, side of the head, and down the other side of your head and neck until your hands return to your heart center. Now we're going to direct the energy flow down and then bring it back up, inhaling, hands to the heart center, pivot on the heel, place the foot, exhale, sweep down the inner arm around the back side to the shoulder, neck, over the top of the head, and exhale, hands press down. Inhale, exhale, sweep down. Inhale, sweeping back, the side, over the top. Exhale, hands together at the heart and press down. And we'll continue to explore this for a couple more cycles. Sense the chi flowing through the pathway that the hand is tracing over the body. As we move down the inner arm, we are directing the energy flow through the yin meridians. And as we bring the hand along the back side of the arm and hand, we're bringing the energy through the yang meridians. And we'll explore one more full cycle. Finishing to the right. And direct the energy all the way down through the body, all the way to the soles of the feet, and then bring it up through the feet, the legs, and anchor it again in the lower dantian. Pause here for a moment of inner observation. What is your awareness of the cumulative amplification of the chi? We'll release the hands. Bring the feet back to horse stance. We're going to explore Buddha receives offering. So this practice is, we're focusing a lot of attention and energy in the region of the pelvis to clear out stagnancy there. If we're feeling stuck emotionally or creatively, sexually, this is a region there where we want to place our focus to break up the stagnancy of energy. And if, again, there's some issues in terms of your physical body, in terms of symptoms or conditions in the region, this whole practice will be beneficial there. Okay, palms are turning up, elbows in fairly near the body. And for this, I'm going to turn sideways again and just show you, relax your arms if you've put them up already. We want to create a wave through the spine. And we can do that by letting the knees go forward, the hips, and then the chest lifts, and then we sit the bottom back. And then the knees go forward, the hips lift through the chest, and then sit the bottom back. So there's this circular kind of action, but also a ripple, a spinal wave. And the spine is the energetic superhighway in the body. So if we clear out stagnancy there, we are going to allow the messages from the brain to get to the periphery of the body more easily, and as well from the periphery but back to the brain, and as well down to the gut, right, the lower brain. And palms turn up. So we're going to, with the inhalation, lengthen up through the crown. As you exhale, sit the bottom back, turn your fingertips to face your waist, and palms up, extend your arms behind. Then they'll come around front, backs of the hands face each other, flip your palms up. Here's where we're going to create that wave-like action. Knees go forward, hips lifting through the sternum, maybe the chin rises as well, and then the arms come forward as we sit back. And see if you can tune into the spine, and starting with your tailbone, feel each individual vertebra articulate. This time we'll bring the hands back and pause with the palms up. Now we're going to do one arm at a time. And so we'll start with the left, and the fingertips are going to turn in toward the body and extend the arm behind, palm up, and let the weight shift to the left leg a bit. Swing the arm so you're leading with the back of your hand and it comes to the right. Now flip your palm up and then sweep the fingers, the pinky finger really, around your waist. Extend the arm, back of the hand leads as you sweep across the body. And again, here you can imagine that you're breaking up stagnancy of energy in the pelvic region, at the level of the navel, through the visceral organs there. You can come up a little bit higher. Maybe you're feeling a little hung up in the diaphragm, the liver, pancreas, stomach, spleen, kidneys. Now we're going to pause and go to the other arm. And if you watch your hand as it moves through space, aligning the mind with the directional flow of the qi, brings the consciousness into alignment with the greater consciousness, which is the qi. You could say the universal consciousness. Now we're going to alternate. So we'll go back to the left arm and now the right. One more each side. Come back to center. Now we're going to embrace the big ball of qi with the inhale, exhale, harness it as you condense it into the lower dantian. Observe how the arms feel, the hands, the torso, the lower body. And release. Now we'll explore, this is called crane twist, and it does involve some balance, and you have some options as to where you're going to put your feet. We'll be lifting the foot, and you can place it back down where it landed, where it started, or place the feet closer together. You can lift the foot and do heel to toe, or lift the foot and cross the one knee over the other. And this requires that you squat down a bit more to get both heels down, although you could have just the ball of your foot in contact with the floor. So either any of these options is acceptable, and you want to be conscious of what feels right for you. This also will involve, this is a practice that helps to tone the pelvic floor. And as we age, gravity tends to take its way with us, take us with it, and things start to descend. And so if we could be experiencing something like a prolapse of organs where they start to sink down, and that can put one organ can press more firmly on another in ways that can cut off flow of energy or other things as well. So we want to keep things uplifted. And we're going to be doing that by drawing the perineum up. So you could, if you've ever explored a Qigong, that would be a way to understand this action, or simply by creating the sensation of cutting off the flow of urine. that is another way that you could experience this lift of the perineum and the toning of the pelvic floor. So we're going to start in A stance, where our feet are more in alignment with the hip bones. And we will be, on the inhale, shifting the weight to the right leg as we lift the left. And then you're going to bend your elbows and let your palms face the earth and let the hands come down to about chest level. So your elbows, shoulders, and hands are about the same level. And you found your footing, wherever that's going to be. Now, with the inhale, drop the perineum. And with the exhale, we're going to start to turn to the left as far as we can. Keep the perineum drawn up. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, now release the muscles of the perineum and the arms sink down. Inhale, lift the arms and the foot. Exhale, and press the hands down. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, and place your foot. Inhale, drop the perineum. Exhale, turn the body to the right. Inhale, keep the hold there. Exhale, now soften that sphincter muscle as the arms sink. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step out. So you could simply just do the arm movements and the toning of the pelvic floor if that felt better for you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn. Keep the tone as we turn back. Inhaling, exhale, now relax. Inhale and exhale. We'll finish on this side. And you could even start the draw up of the perineum here. Inhale, exhale, lift it up a little bit more. Inhaling before you twist into the exhalation. Inhale, exhale, now relax. And lifting the arms and the foot, and we settle down the energy to the lower dantian, pausing here. Bring your awareness into the pelvic region. Notice sensation there. Maybe it feels a little bit more open, a little more spacious, a little less cloudy or logy. And as I said, this is the seat of our creative potential, or creative impulse, really. And that which is there, the potential is there for sure. That sacral chakra is associated with the throat chakra, and which is the seat of the creative expression. So we bring the energy up and out through our words, and as well, then we bring that into our actions ultimately. Now we're going to turn the wheel of heaven, and we're going to be, again, coming into the pivot and the slight lunge. And you could sit in a chair and do this, and just sit toward the front of the chair and kind of turn your body in the direction that I am as I demonstrate from the standing position. Fingertips face each other, palms face the ceiling. Inhale, hands start to rise up to about solar plexus level. Exhale, and direct the energy down. Draw energy from the earth up. We'll pivot here. Fingertips face the wall behind. Place your foot. Bend the knee and inhale. Start to trace your fingers over the floor, the wall in front of you, the ceiling. Turn your body to 45-degree angle, and then sink with the exhalation as the hands come down. So we're sweeping energy through the pelvic region, and then bringing it down through the whole body. You could say sweeping through the lower body and pelvis. And now bringing the energy down from the heavens through the whole body, from the crown to the soles of the feet. one more this side. And we're going to pivot and direct the energy down and then draw it up, pivot to the other side. So energy coming up from the earth through the whole body and down from the heavens through the whole body. But you might focus on a particular region that feels like it needs greater support, sensing that the energy is flowing into that part of your body. Cleansing out the stagnancy, creating space, freedom of movement, freedom of energy flow. And let's do one more cycle on this side. And we'll pivot back to center, direct the energy all the way down to the soles of the feet, and then bring it from the earth up through the lower body, anchoring in the lower dantian. And release the hands. And we'll finish today with the rising lotus. We'll be bringing the arms up, inhaling to shoulder height. Exhale, bending the knees as the hands come between your legs, and then let the backs of your nails touch the backs of the fingers as the hands rise. At about heart level, the palms connect, and then the arms go all the way up, or as high up as feels comfortable. Exhale, sinking down. We're drawing yin up. Think of this as a fountain. Energy rising and then raining down, shooting out through the crown of the head, and then getting recycled, fresh energy flow coming up, and energy from the heavens raining down all around and through us. Energy from the sun, energy from the earth, creating balance throughout. Do 3 more cycles. Lowering the arms with the exhalation, pausing here. Draw the focus within. Slow the breath. Notice how you may be experiencing your body differently now than you did before the sequence began. And we'll end with a bow.